international team did pretty good at the President's Cup. We are going to talk about putter fittings, and it's a first look. I just got the new Mizuno irons in a different way that most people do. So let's talk about that and some other golf equipment here on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to the McGolf Shop. This is What's in Your Drawers Golf Talk with Jim McCleary. And why is it What's in My Drawers? It's because old club makers, club fitters are just tremendous pack rats. And this ain't any different. And what we're talking about is what was in the drawers in the shop, and it just turned into a really cool discussion. Now we talk about golf fittings, golf repairs, and golf opinions, and whatever else pops up. And we do it with an international audience. So, like anything, we talk about the tournaments, and we all know that the U.S. won, but I guarantee you it was not as easy fought as the betting people would have you put out there. There was supposed to be some crazy, ginormous difference between the two, and it went 17 and a half and 12 and a half. Okay, 5. I think the spread was no less than 8 to 10. So, good for the internationals, although, I honestly I didn't get to see too much of any of this, but it sounded like that there was kind of an ebb and flow kind of thing, and it was mostly based on the internationals doing some pretty amazing golf. So congrats to everybody on that one. We got the LPGA was the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. That's a mouthful. And A Thick Cool, D Kang, and a C Choi, number 1, 2, and 3. So congratulations to them. And not to be left out, the Pure Insurance Champions. Apparently, Steve Flesh won it with a tie between Ernie Els and Steve Alkers. That dude that's playing with those new level irons is just on fire right now. So good for him. That was that's just. I'm glad to see we're seeing a smaller company getting represented, albeit it's on the Champions Tour, but it's by virtually a guy that didn't do much in his professional career on the big tour and is just slaying it now. So good for him. Again, good for both of them actually. So that's a good thing. Stuff we did in the shop. I would love to show you the stuff we did in the shop because we did quite a bit. We threw out a bunch of Callaway stuff. I mean, we did a lot of fittings from people from West Virginia all the way to the northern Ohio area, including some local folks. And it was a mixed bag of stuff that people got fit to, which is a testament to a true custom fitting that you're just not everybody's walking out with the same thing. And we set out a custom set of some Callaways. The Rogue Max did pretty good. The Rogue Driver is doing very well, but we're kind of limited on what our offerings are right now because we're in the silly season for components. We also threw out a set of Wilson D9 forged with a Rogue Driver. That turned out pretty nice. And now we also have a set of Mizunos going out, the 225s, all to pretty decent players. I put a lot of that stuff on the Instagram, so if you guys want to see actual pictures or videos of it, it'll be there under I Am at Golf. Again, if you will, at this point, if you look down there, there's a like and subscribe, like button, thumbs up, and then there's a subscribe button and a notification bell. If you'd be so kind as to hit all those, that gets this channel a little bit more notoriety, and it goes on to get seeing more people. Last bit, I know we always talk about golf, and here in the last couple of rounds, getting out early, I've not been able to do, so I've been kind of out of my element, and we've been starting in the afternoon. So this time, Bob and I took off at Crown Hill at around about 2:45, and this is what it looks like. And with wind, it was windy and it was getting chilly, and but it was a good play though. Some pretty decent pictures. I just picked a handful right there. Uh, in particular, this one I thought it was kind of funny because, so I don't know about you guys, but we're right now where we're at, the ground is hard as a rock, and it's just everything bounces. So everything's playing about at least 10 yards longer, and you can bounce everything up onto the green. Well, in this particular picture, if you look, it looks like the goalpost of trees. Well, I cleared that thing on the left-hand side, and and everything feeds to the right. So you go over top of the tree, and I hit it pretty good. And I went to the other side of the fairway, and when we went and found it, it was further than the tree on the right. It was much, much, much further. That's how much it bounced and rolled in that direction. So I was I was outside I was probably about 140-ish, I think, 140-ish, and, no, 150-ish. Anyway, I took a club that was 2 clubs shorter, and I bounced it easily 10 to 15 yards, before the green. It bounced onto the green, rolled clean off the back, and down about 2 yards off the green off the back. I don't know how you can defense that any more than that, but then I proceeded to do some really crappy chipping and pulling out a bogey after being right on top of it. So yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of fun. But overall score, I think I went 41-43, and the 41 was even kind of golf, and the 43 on the back was with 2 triples. So there's hope yet for me. There's hope yet. All right. So on to some topics. Putter fitting. I had 2 topics. One is we're going to take a look at these Mizuno irons and go over them with a little bit more of a uh, probably a little bit more technical look than what you would think you may have seen out there in the interverse right now, interweb. And we're going to talk a little bit more about them. So, and this is going to turn into a review, by the way. Anyway, putter fittings. Let's start with that one first. We're going to talk about that, and the use of this Capto is really impressive in that the information you can glean from it can make you a better fitter slash putter slash instructor, that kind of stuff. But you have to know how to interpret it, and that takes some practice. However, there are some basics, and this is something that you can take with you. Some basics of a good putter, that one that fits you right, is there's length, there's loft, there's lie, there's style, and there's grip. All right, and those are the primary ones. Now you can and what you do from there, once you get the big pieces, then you start narrowing it down into the little pieces. And there's also parts in, the golfer holding the putter is also part of that equation as well. So the length of it is however you might want to go and find it. I have what I call a putter jig. It goes up and down, back and forth to allow the golfer to get comfortable, and then we'll see what kind of length and lie that you will start off with. A large portion of the times you do not end up in that same spot because your level of comfort and being in the right spot are normally 2 different things. Okay, and that's where that goes. So what we're looking for is, they give you this idea, your eye's got to be right over top of the ball. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Eye over the ball, inside the ball, okay. And they say, oh, never over the ball. And never is a fairly strong word because golfers can blow that up out of the water instantly. So if you have glasses, or if you have the corrective lenses that you can put on, and it makes you see it a little differently, and you have to look up or sideways or whatever, and the looking over the ball might work. Now it's a very, very slim chance, small percentage of them that will do that, where everybody else is on the other side. All right, lie angle. Lie angle is kind of determined on how you hold the putter, and meaning that do you keep it close to your body? Are you upright and holding it stiff and straight armed? Or are you pulling it in and trying to wave it around? And your style is dependent upon your lie angle, and that leads you into your putting stroke. And the lie angle is, typically you want to have the putter sold. It can vary just ever so slightly, but you want to get as close to flat as you possibly can. Now, there's been other people out there that have been very successful with putting with the putter straight up, but they've also had negative loft. So there's a trade there. And that takes you into loft where, the type of loft is dependent upon how you make contact with the ball, the type of greens that you're on, and the type of putter that you have. Or if you start, if you de-loft the putter or loft the putter, that will, get you your starting loft. And then are you playing on something that's very manicured or something that's pretty hairy? And that will help you with the loft to get it up on top of the grass and rolling smooth. That's what we want. All right. And then the last bit of it is the grip. You want something that is comfortable, not something that you just saw on the latest commercial where somebody was using a grip the size of the wrong end of a ball bat or something along that lines. As long as it doesn't feel, you're just looking for something new. Going to the extreme is probably not the answer for you. All right, you want to take those. You want something that fits in your hands, whether you fit the putter here or fit it here or however you would hold it. Find the appropriate putter that it has the right texture and is also the right size. Now they can come in multiple shapes and sizes, as I've shown you. The Koatai from BJM, the Garson is another one that's not a standard putter style grip. And then all the other grips like Win and Super Stroke have the very small rounded ones to really, really big ones. And then more traditional styles like you find in the Golf Prides or the Lambkins or something along that lines. So you have to, find out what that makes it, because you want to be comfortable over the putt. The more comfortable you are, the more confident you are. The more confident you are, the more likely it is you make the putt. There, that one goes. And how do you find all that stuff? Well, the biggest thing is if you've been doing it a while, the trained eye, after you've seen it a while, it's an experience thing. However, if you've not, and you have the Capto unit, which I thought I had here, and I don't. Okay. Anyway, if you have the Capto unit, it can give you those numbers of how you start, how you finish, how you throw the stroke around, what your tempos are, and kind of help you in determining those particular numbers. And that's the reason why that technology gets involved. Now, as I've said before, it's all for naught if the ball doesn't go in the hole, and that's always got to be the basis function here. Does the ball go in the hole? And then the last bit is, do you have the right head on the end of all these little short stick with the right putter grip at the right lie angle at the right loft, and you get a head that fits your stroke, not one that fights it. And we're talking about, you have straight back, you have the arcing, and then you have the in between where you straight back, but the putter blade opens up and goes closed. All those actually respond to different styles of putters in different ways. And you may find out that you really respond to one better than the other. All right. Oh, I got the itchy nose. All righty. So next thing up, as soon as I do this. All right, Mizuno. So the Mizuno rep showed up about a week before the release, and he showed me the new Mizuno 923 irons. Now, the 923s are going to show up in two different batches. The hot metal stuff is going to be first, and then the forged and the tour are going to be second. Okay. And so the hot metals are out now. In the January timeframe, the tour and the forged are going to be out there, and because they're made in two different ways. Okay, and that's what we're looking at. All right, so the very first one we're going to look at is the Mizuno hot metal. All right, the Mizuno hot metal. Let's see if we can get that. Itchy. Mizuno hot metal. There we go. You get now the shaping shouldn't look a whole lot different than the hot metal of last time. What is different then? Well, the difference here is in the design on the back, right? And a little less offset maybe on this one that that they didn't have before. And you can't, I don't know if you can see it right there. You see those little ribs right in there? Okay, it's for sound and flex. They've changed that a little bit. And then the way that this thing, the separation right here, in order to throw just a little bit more weight across the bottom. And you'll notice that the backside is chromed to give there we go, to give the sole a little bit thinner look at appearance when you have it sitting in the bag. Now, the cool thing about this, and then if any guys from Canada are watching, uh, every one of these comes in left-handed. That's something different. That is something way different, as a matter of fact. That one was a surprise. That's going to change a lot of perceptions. Okay, the Hot Metal Pro, and you can tell by the fact that it's Hot Metal Pro because it says Hot Metal Pro. It's a little smaller now. Last year, now this is where the difference is going to be. Is last year the Hot Metal Pro was basically the hot metal with less offset. That's not the case this time. The Hot Metal Pro is actually going to be a little smaller. Okay, pretty sure I got it pretty close, if not right there. But the Hot Metal Pro is going to be a little smaller. It's going to certainly have the least amount of offset for in the HM and the hot metal line as far as these three go, and it's also going to have those ribs across the top, and it sits in here, right? You can't even see them unless you're really looking for them. And then it also has, the weight distribution is out on the toe, so it doesn't overcook it. But if you look, very little offset. This is going to be a club that a lot of people are going to go to. This is squarely directed at what would be called the player's distance category. Okay, where this one, the hot metal, is for the game improver, and distance, where this one, and you notice it's left-handed, is going to be for the player's distance category. So the guy that can make a pretty decent ball strike, and then and still get the ball out there and still need to. Now, something different that showed up is the Hot Metal High Launch. Hot Metal High Launch. I should have had a better lighting on this one. Hot Metal High Launch. Now, if you'll notice, there's a lot less color on these. It's a lot of changing chrome, silverish colors, and it gives the appearance of being slightly cleaner. Okay, and if you look at it, that's what it's going to look like in the bag. Not a whole lot of contrasting material. There's like a black JPX, and that's pretty much about it. So it's the difference in whether it's a brush chrome or a brush silver or a high polish silver. So anyway, high launch. And high launch is exactly what it sounds like. The idea is to for those guys that can't get the ball in the air, and there's the ribs again. I think this is a bit wider sole and more offset right here. It is definitely pronounced when you compare it against the two, like that. There you go. This one just has a whole lot more offset on it, so maybe a little more slice correcting. They all of that chromoly, right? It says so, nickel chromoly. There it is, nickel chromoly. All right, so high launch, and it's exactly as the word implies. It's a slightly weaker club in order to allow those folks that just can't get the ball in the air to get the ball in the air. And so if you're one of those guys that hoods the ball, that might be the way or hoods the club, that might be the way to go. If you're one of those folks that just need to get the ball airborne so you can get a little bit more distance, sounds counterintuitive, I know, but and you need to get up in the air so you can hit a little further, then that might be the way to go. Or you might find yourself on a par 3 or something where you got to clear some level of hazard that just needs to get up in the air, and you need that kind of help. That's what that would be for. Now, we also have some specs. Okay, So in the hot metal, we're not going to go through them all, but the 5 is a 22, which is pretty strong. A 7 is a 28.5, and a pitching wedge is 42.5. That's pretty doggone strong. All right. So this is gonna they're making no bones about it. They only went up about a half a degree in strength in their iron. So they're looking to get a couple categories, it looks like. The Hot Metal Pro 22, 28, and 42.5 again. All right. Again, they're the same lofts, different size, much less offset. Definitely player's distance category. Then the other one is for a 5 is 25, the 7 is 31, and the pitching wedge is 45. So slightly weaker, right, by a couple degrees. And it'll be enough to make a difference in the ball flight, right? And that's where we're looking at, the ball flight. Now the other part here is that it comes with it comes in a gap wedge. The hot metal comes in a gap wedge. And so the gap wedge at that particular point in time is going to have so much less offset on it that you should be able to use it in the Hot Metal Pro. So it's a kind of a utilitarian gap wedge. Whereas the Hot Metal High Launch will have its own gap wedge and its own sand wedge. So there they are. So now when we get done here, I got to make these hoses a little bit bigger, put my connectors in them, and we're going to get to testing. Well, hopefully we'll have that out. Maybe that'll be out before the weekend. Last bit is this weekend. Bob and I are going on a golf trip with a boatload of other folks, and we're going to Lexington, and we're going to play 4 courses in Lexington. When we get back, we'll be able to talk about that. Okay, that took you up there long enough. Let's see what we got. Oh, Emmanuel, where'd he go? So we have seen the YouTube video of the guy building Rory's driver. He takes the shaft, measures, cuts, glues, grips, and takes it out to play. Is puring or flowing not done for him, or was it cut? Emmanuel, it probably was not pured, and it probably was not flowed or any of that stuff, because a lot of those guys out there don't really take it too seriously. When there's a puring there used to be a puring trailer out there. I don't know if I've not been to enough events to actually see that, so I can't comment to whether or not the pure is in there or not. But if you talk to the builders, they don't have nothing to do with it. And so it's one of those I don't believes until they run up against a pro that believes it and he says they want it, and then they go get it done. And they may have some shafts in there already pured, and they put it into a certain spot, and that's it, and they don't even check. But that's what they do. All righty, no rounds, kids soccer. Good for you, sir. I'm glad. Hopefully he's doing well. Question, describe how many holes you can play in a day. What has been your max? I've walked 72 and rode in a cart for 115. You are a robot. I think the most we've ever played, honestly, that I've ever played is 36. We've done 218s. We're getting ready to go do that this weekend. That's the max I've ever played, only because that's what we've always ever done. Never was trying to do a lot. Would be kind of neat, though. Yep, I'm with the 36 as well. Sean Hardigan, what do you say, sir? Quick question. What is the best way to get old paint out of the numbers in the bottoms of the cavity with the plastic numbers out of the bottom of the cavity back with the plastic inserts? To get old paint out of the numbers on the bottom of the cavity with plastic inserts. Well, I don't know if the plastic inserts mean too much as far as I'm trying to think of where a number would be on the bottom of a cavity that has a plastic insert and that you would have to dig it out. However, what I use is I have old dental tools because I know a few dentists, and when they get to a point where they're wore out, they'll they'll let me have one or two. Now, it's been years because these things last forever for what I do with them. And what I do is you take a little bit of on a little paper towel, a little bit of acetone, and dab it on there so it puddles just ever so slightly. Let it sit there and dry out, and then where the puddle's not there, and then start scraping it out with with my dental tool. Now you could use an awl, or I suppose you could use a bent up paper clip. You could do something like that in order to scrape it out, and that way you can be really precise with your removal. But it does take a little bit of manual removal, and then when it's all said and done, give it a good wipe, and then that way it's clean. Patrick, what do you say, sir? Hopefully you're liking the Capto. Past my prime, all 36 was my max. What that was riding, I did 27 walking a couple of times. All right, we're getting some numbers. Also, I'm going to ask you this question again. If you put it in the show notes or the comments over here on the right, is that I'm trying to do a YouTube video on the 3 mistakes that a club maker will make when they get started. And that's to help other folks when they get started to try and reduce the number of mistakes that they're going to make. I fully suspect that this could be a 2-part video based on what people tell me. But if you guys have made clubs and you've like, I wish I would have done it like this, or I really messed up that, throw that down in there so I can keep a tally. Most ever played 90 holes in 2.5 days. It was the Navy and stopped in Pearl Harbor. It was a blast. Oh, that would have been awesome. 36. Shot an 80, double on the last hole. Next, my chances in around 70s. You're getting close there. There's my man. How's it going, Jim? Is interested in seeing what the group of guys posted on your thread you started today. I don't know. I started it late and I haven't looked as of yet. So I posted that same question about club making mistakes on the My Golf Spy thread, and let's see if we can find anything about that, and we will just go right to it. Mental Health Week. Alrighty. Let's see. There they are. Of course, it's going to take a while to load because why not? Alrighty. We're almost there. Spies in competition. Putters, fashion, golf equipment talk. Here we go. Let's see. I'm going in not as myself, so it'll show me something here in just a moment. I've got 1 reply and 64 views, so apparently not a lot of people want to talk about their stuff. Oh. Manuel hit the pros today. Nice. Very sweet. I figured they'd do pretty good. I think we're going to see a lot of that going out the door. We did pretty good with the other one, so I don't see this being too much of a difference. Deuce, what do you say? Hello, enjoy Tennessee, one of my favorite places to go. We're going to Kentucky, homie. Kentucky. It's only about 3.5 hours away. And Mrs. McGolf is in the house. She's actually not in my house or the house. She's in the house. She's on a girls' trip, and she's down in Pigeon Forge. So good deal. I guess maybe that's what that was all about. She was telling somebody that she was in Tennessee. Could have been that way. Probably so. Okay. TJ, what do you say, man? Hello, all. Tennessee looks like you left your husband. Yep, she did. It's that's okay. Somebody's got to be here. There you go. I'm going to smash that thumbs up, everyone. I'm all yes, please. Hola from St. Louis. What do you say? I hope all the good people of Florida know how to play in the wind. Yeah. Keep your eye out. Right? They said it. I don't know the name of it this time around, but hurricane's happening. I saw where the mayor was the mayor of Tampa said, "Hey, time for you guys to go." And so if my cousins in Hernando are there listening, and they've gotten the area, we got a place for you up here, man. We'll plug you right in. We'll be good to go. All righty. Patrick still on the men, definitely not 100%. And I should not have played, but I managed to play or win our Ryder Cup on Saturday. All for the glory, man. All for the glory. Here you go, man. That's a good one. Tennessee, there you go. We're going to be passing each other. They're going to be coming up, and we're going to be going the other way. Dude, got fit for a new driver. The Stealth with a hazardous smoke won. Shot a 77.78. The driver killed it for me. Very good for you. Good job. In fact, I'm getting ready to reshaft a Stealth here as soon as the shaft shows up with a Acura FX. We found out that was probably going to be the better choice of what was currently in it. It's a good deal. Watching in New Jersey, have you ever played in Hawaii, and if so, where? I have not. My travels have never taken me to Hawaii. Mrs. McGolf wants to go there, and I don't know yet. We're working on it. It's I think was it 12 hours in the plane at least, and that doesn't include layovers. It's like an 18-hour day. So we're gonna have to see. Do you have winter hours for fitting? Me and a few friends are thinking about heading your way for a fitting once the snow starts to fly. No, it's pretty much about the same because it's indoors, man. So if it looks like here, right there, and then you get to look out and get to see the snow because you can see out there. So even get that thing back in there. There we go. So yeah, get a hold of Miss McGolf. We'll get you guys scheduled. And we'll take care of you. We'll be good to go. All right. So there's it is. Charlie's saying great rounds. Good for you. We got. All right. Reshaft the MP29s again with steel fiber 110s, 10-gram weight, and a bunch of lead tape to get to C6. Yeah, I'm beginning to. I'm not as familiar with them as I'd like to be because now I have really big access to them. But I'm thinking that a lot of these steel fibers are probably counterbalanced to an extent, and that they tend to play a little lighter towards the butt end of the shaft. But and Mizuno tends to run a little light to begin with too. And it also depends on the grip that you put on. All right. I'll bet that felt good to you. Good deal. We're seeing a lot of that. A lot of that golf course that we were playing on the other week, they stripped away some of the sod and then did some aerating in order to get some growing in front of it. So hopefully that works out well. There's Steve on Facebook. Good job. Thank you. 5 hours a day of practice seems like a lot of work. Well, but yeah. Oh. That's what I one of my first, we'll call it golf, we'll call it co-ops. It was in Plymouth, Indiana. There was a guy starting a shop, and it was at the Plymouth at Swan Lake, and 18 holes of golf, really nice. And he had a teaching facility, was looking to put some golf repair in it, and I went up to help him. Well, he had worked at Latrobe, and so the very thing that came out of his mouth is that if it feels uncomfortable, it was probably the right thing to do. And he said that came from Palmer. Oh man. Yeah, the putter, the eye dominance thing, that's a eye dominance is not to say it's not. It is important, but it's one of those it's what I call a second tier. And then the putter neck is all about for me is how you can make the club balance, right? If it's about face balance, toe, 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 toe. And a lot of that is really about the neck and then how the putter swings. But yeah, they are important to be sure. Yes, he was. You notice how I haven't done that ever since I started that? You're correct. There you go. There's Peter. Did you end up getting that grip? It would be neat to see what happened with that. Oh, here he is. I'm answering it right there. All right. TJ, what's the main difference from the Mizuno 2 lines JPXs versus the Mizuno Pro line? Really like the hollow back irons, like the 225, great technology, and look for the golf industry. So the the Mizuno Pro, the difference between the Mizuno Pro and the hot metal line is the Mizuno Pro is exactly what that sounds like. It has the blade, a player's cavity back, and then it has the hollow body. And the hollow body is for uh, somebody, or all of them are for ball strikers. They have very little offset. The soles are fairly small. Now the hollow body is a little bit wider than the other two in comparison, but yet smaller than the JPXs. They're not as they're not as strong lofted as the JPX irons because it's assumed that the folks swinging these things swing a little faster. That's the idea. Now they're also forged. The the blade, the 221 and the 223 are both forged from a one piece, where the hollow body is a forged but from multiple pieces. Now, when we get into these, this is a nickel chromoly, and I believe the two hot metals are not a forged club. In fact, the hot metals are not the forged club. It doesn't turn into a forged club until hot metal forged, and then it's a one-piece forged for the hot metal tour, or the 223 tour. And but they as the even this it's self-proclaimed that even the tour the 223 tour, I'm sorry, the 923 tour is basically a Mizuno Pro and JPX clothing. So, this one is going to look really nice. I have some of the lefty tours, and they're very long bladed, which works for me because mine misses out towards the toe. But these newer ones are going to be a little bit smaller, so that's going to be the difference. So, a little higher swing speed, a little bit better ball striker for the Mizuno Pros, and the more of the easier to hit, get the ball in the air, and then there's the test of the tour JPX type line for that. All right. Really enjoyed the Wilson overview. Good. I'm glad you liked it. I've been looking at them. I can really feel the club head in the swing. I can't say that with the other clubs I've tried. Well, very good. I'm glad you like it. Now there is to say that if you're talking about the launch pads, there is a truckload of weight at the bottom, and that's the whole idea, right? Get that under the bottom, get them up in the air, make them easy to hit, and don't take a digger, the whole 9 yards. And that's what it's for. Now, and they're not as heavily offsetted as the previous models, but still super nice looking. I think they're it's from a cosmetic point of view, it's a serious upgrade. From a tech point of view, I'd say it's just an improvement. Yeah, how about that? 22 degrees. I saw that and I about keeled over. I never thought we'd see a Mizuno go that go that strong on a 5 iron. And not only that, but how about a 42 and a half degree pitching wedge? Who heard of that? And now you're going to start seeing 49-degree gap wedges. So now that means that if you're looking at 5 degrees, that means your sand wedge is now going to be 55, and then you're going to have a 60, which in reality will probably become a 59 in order for you to have your real gaps. So what's that? I mean, gee, many Christmas. So that's what it is. It's in Kentucky, sir. Uh, we go over to. There's two ways of getting it. We either go, through the valley and through the woods and around the valley and the whole 9 yards, and it's like this, or we go to Cincinnati, Lexington. Takes a little longer, but it's less. It's less car sickness. So that's what we're going. I think we'll see. Duque is a Mizuno fan, so I'll be checking out whatever's available. These new fitters in the area are awesome. They let you try out on the course first. Oh, look at that. Well done. Well, for a guy playing 29s, Pat, yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, has some good bourbon in that state. Well, it is known, and we are going to be driving very near the beginning of what they call the Bourbon Trail down there. However, Robin has it correct. Boom. Not that I'm looking to get any or anything, but there may be one or two down there. Hey, Big Al, I'm looking for a TaylorMade SimMax 5 wood left-handed head and head cover. I'll be reshafting anyway. If any of our community out there have one for sale, all right. So there you go. We can help our friend Big Al across the water and see if anybody's got a SimMax 5 wood lefty version he's willing to pay. All right. Colin Miles, hello from Kent, England. Colin, thank you for staying up so late, sir. What's the best way to reduce the Wishon forged iron swing weight from D7? What do you have in there? If you're Colin, the best way to get the swing weight down in this particular instance, if you like it, is just to add more weight to the back. And I am totally not a fan of adding weight to make that happen. But you're talking 4 to 5 swing weights, which is at least 10 grams. All right, 10 grams. Now, there is another way. You could put an ultralight shaft in it, and depending on what you have in it now. See, there's a lot of depends going on with this one because it depends on what shaft you have in it, depends on what grip you have on it in order to change a lot of these things. You can do a quick lowering of swing weight by a slightly heavier grip. You can do a lowering of swing weight by going to a lighter shaft. You can go to a lower swing weight by adding some weight on the back. And you can also do it by removing some weight from the club. But if you're not used to doing that, I wouldn't suggest it, only because you tend to remove the finish and then it will start to rust, particularly in the environment of England, where it's high humidity type stuff. So there's those things. Now, a quick and easy way just to see if you want to try it, if you're good with grips, I've done in the past is you get a piece of lead tape in that 1/4 inch width and run it right under the bottom like where a rib would be and run one strip, 2 max, and put it underneath that grip and see what happens. Because that weight right underneath of your hands can cause some extra stability. So I would try that. And TJ is not wrong. Just as well to turn and look at hybrids. Steve, are you going to do what's in a bag now? That's probably not a bad idea. Now, when I get back, or maybe while I'm down there, you never know. I'm going to do that. Yeah, the 22, I mean, you're running around the, 19, 20 degrees probably in that area. I wouldn't be so surprised. 20 probably max because 18 was being a 5 wood at the time. 21 was being a 7. Yeah. JT Wilson, what do you say, sir? Hello from Louisiana. Nice. Excellent. Thank you. I have a question. I have access to some recoil 460 F3s for $200. and a set of C16 irons. Well, the Recoil 460 F3 is a regular flex shaft, and the recoils in the 460s I think are pretty decent. In fact, that's one of the more favored numbers. There's a 660 that nobody liked, but the 460 they did. The set of C1s, I'm trying to figure out C16 irons. I'm trying to figure out what that is. If you're talking about, well, it depends on what you want to. It depends on what you want to accomplish, JT. If these are older style clubs and you're just going out to have a good time, yes, it'd be worth every penny of it. If it is still an older style set of clubs and you're looking to be able to hit the ball further and you're changing into the shaft, I would say no. I wouldn't. I would save the money and apply it towards something like what we're talking about in these distance clubs. Duke walked and carried 72 when he was 18 and played 4 different courses in one day. Nice. That's pretty good. Hello there, Mr. John Kelly. How are you? Tailgate tech. There's a good one. I see you using torches and heat guns. Have you ever tried an induction heater in their place? I have not. I have not tried an induction heater. Now, I know I've seen some guys do that for, assuming I believe they're induction heaters, for the gluing, the drying of the gluing, where it's in a clamp and it holds it there and it will heat it up really fast and it settles the glue in just no time flat. But no, I have not. Aaron Levine, what do you say? I was told by multiple large OEMs that Golf Spy is not legit, and they have paid for top spots on their list. Well, oh, I cannot confirm or deny that one. You'd be the first person to say that to me, Aaron, but it'd be it would be totally against what they're all about, I would think. Uh, so I just don't know. I don't know, to be honest, because they have said time and time again that they do exactly the opposite, that they do not take money from the OEMs, and so that would be kind of a tough call on that one. Uh, we would see. I'd like to hear him tell me that. That would be something else. All right. Hey, see Nozzle. What do you say, sir? Hopefully everything's going well. Now a few rounds with the eye wedge shafts you put in there. They're 100%. You're 100% correct. Much better feel through and easier control. Cool. I'm glad it worked out. So again, to recap, we were part of the My Golf Spy outing that was in Maryland, and this dude can golf the ball. And the only place he was truly struggling was that quick chip around the green, and maybe I don't know 20 yard shot maybe, and he was hitting heavy. Now he's got a set of graphite shafted irons in his bag, and he was just absolutely striping it. And I said, well, if you made your wedges more in line with your irons, you wouldn't have to have this change in your swing or your attitude, and you probably do a little bit better. And we did it. We reshafted. He won a Vokey wedge, so we reshafted that one, and apparently he's liking it. So that's very cool. I'm glad that you like it. All right. Biggest issue I've had when starting building was finding information on shafts and trimming. Okay. There's one. Deuce, you get the prize for the first one to be answering. All right. And there's Tailgate talking. There's Robin talking. So we got to ask Robin where are they eating tonight? What's dinner all about? Stephen Pulaski, what do you say, sir? How are you? It should be. Is it getting a little cooler up there now? Because it just did here. I don't know. Here I am in southern Ohio, and the temperature goes from 45 to 70, 45 to 65, 45 to 70, 45, 65. So we're getting ready to get a big change coming. All right. Do the High Fly Mizuno 3 and 4s blend into the 221 Pro irons? Ooh wee. From a look perspective, yes. They're black and they're a hollow body looking club. So yes, and they have a wider flange at the bottom. Of course, it's a driving iron. That's what the high flies. And if and then we can put a different whatever shaft that we're looking for. We can put that in there. But the answer to your question is yes. All right, Tom's Golf. Now myself some Mizuno 921 Forge recently for a deal with the new releases announced. There you go. There you go. Now, and also in that there, I will say this, that they do have two new drivers coming as well, and the STX and the STZ will be removed from the lineup, and these new ones will be coming out. And there's another chunk of technology that's going into them, and I believe they're getting really, really close. When that happens, I'm going to have one, two, three, maybe four demos. If you guys are interested, let me know. All righty. Jewel, Harry's back. Shot a 78. My cart partner tested positive for COVID 2 days later. I did too. Oh, my. I hate that. Well, hopefully you get better, man. Yes, you did. Very good. I want to know what your thoughts on that one is. He's always asking about it. And make sure you go to that BJM putter because there's a technique that they would like you to use with it. And I'm here to tell you, Bob adopted that thing and he is lights out. He also was saying about how he wished he could hit the ball closer to the hole. And I'm like, well, why? He drains them from 40 foot, not 4. That's the funny part. Hey, Tom's Golf. Good thing you guys 7 years before the COVID. Ugh, still hanging around, isn't it? Tom B, hello there, sir. Yeah, I'm getting into that. I'm getting into that putter groove, as you can tell. We're going to do some of that. Now, I was going there for almost 2 weeks with content that I was starting to dry up a little bit with, and now I'm getting all these ideas. So, yeah, we'll put that in necks, blades, mallets, everything you need to know. Yeah, let's do that. There's JT again. J Road, what do you say? Good evening, Jim Ron. Missed last few weeks. Nice to hear the show live. Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. If you got a question, let us know. Jason, have fun on the Bourbon Trail, Maker's Mark, and Woodford Reserve. My brother-in-law left me some Woodford Reserve. We still have it. I got to say, it's not bad. Not bad from a Scotch drinker's point of view. If we get that close, I think we might have to drive by, but we'll see. All right. Double oak. There we go. We'll have to try that one out. We got it all over the place, brother. It's no problem. My Callaway Rogue pitching wedge is 44, the older Rogue. Yep. And I guarantee you the newer Rogue is stronger still because that was the one that was just uh, all kinds of stronger. So I'm sure we'll see that. You're more than welcome, sir, anytime. There's Sis. What do you say, kiddo? Frost warning and was oh gee, many Christmas. Well, you are up there in God's country. Joe, what do you say? Where have you been? Yes, you do, and the dangerous stuff as well. We tell 'em we need that recipe to put whatever you put all the stuff in it to make it taste like something else. And see if he can do that. Oh my goodness gracious. Because otherwise that's just sipping. That'll last you for a year. Oh my. There we go. Uh, yep, that's what we were talking about right there. Bill Nauman. Hey, what do you say? Yummy. That's what I'm thinking, okay. All right. Big Al. All right. You found loads on eBay in the States, but nobody will post to Ireland for some reason. Well, I don't know why. It's just gonna. I mean, if you're paying for it, who cares? Love the video of you and the lads on the trip. Looked like great fun. The fire pit was lively. It it most certainly was. There is a whole group. If you want to call somebody a card, there was a whole group. We had a deck. They were a good. It was a really good bunch of guys. It really were. Bill, okay, like to see that. Can you get the same distance result at 22 degrees by adding length to the shaft? Well, I'm trying to think what we're trying to do accomplish. So the idea here, RS, is if you're saying can you add length to get a little bit more distance? And the answer is yes, from a physics point of view. Now it depends on where at the top end of the club. Let's go back and I'll speak English. When you add length to a putter, or Jiminy Christmas, when you add length to a golf club, no matter what it is, it makes it harder to hit. All right, and that's very very true when you're at the tall end of the set. So the 22s, the 18-degree hybrids, or even the irons, or something along that lines, are some of the more difficult clubs in the bag to hit because you're still hitting them off the ground and not off of a tee. And when you get them longer, the likelihood of centering a golf ball, it goes down, particularly if, let's just say, for instance, let's throw out a number. 39 inches is the length that you need for that particular loft. They don't it typically doesn't marry up, but let's just say that. And you want to add an inch so that you can hit it further. You just put yourself in outside of your optimal length for that particular club, and now it's going to be harder to hit square or in the middle of the face. Therein lies the problem. But as a whole, as a generality, the answer is yes. How often is the question, and typically not very. All right. Did I miss something? What was in the smoker this past weekend? Absolutely nothing. We didn't put anything in the smoker. We with everything that was going on, Robin was leaving, and I didn't take anything out. And I know it's a crime on humanity for not doing that, but for just me, I didn't think it would. And well, me and my dad, and he eats like a bird, so it just wasn't worth it. But we got those sliders that we got from Sam's Club. Those uh, the steak burgers. Man, those things are good. Oh, brats and peppers. Nice. Tom B. Cooling nicely here in Ottawa, Canada. Oh, nice. All right. Regarding my golf spy as one of the local, I hit a large number of shots with all those clubs. For them just to be paid to pick the highest bidder as most wanted. What? Whoa. Okay, regarding my golf spy, as one of the local My Golf Spy testers, I hit a large number of shots with all those clubs for them just to be paid to be picked to the highest bidder as the most wanted. Oh, I don't know if you're confirming that or not, but uh, if you're confirming that or not, I hope not. All right. Oh, look at that. Fall weather is here. Cold and very wet. Oh, we had a cool front. It was 58 this morning. So far, the high today is 90. Oh, it's always going to be like that, JT. I know it. I just know it. And we could smoke some squirrel for Dad. Yeah. Uh, my dad is continually talking about just going off the back porch and knocking off a few squirrels because we got nothing but a forest on our other side of our property over here. In case times get a little tough, he says he'd be able to do that. So there you go. All right, Tom's golfing question. My driver's swing speed is around 110, 113. Oh man, that's pretty good. An average carry of 270-ish. Nice. But with my irons, I'm getting 165 with a 31 degree 7 iron. Anything you recommend for picking up speed with the shorter end? 31 degree 7 iron. Well, let me get my bearings straight here. We'll just use this as a thing. 31. That's like the hot metal high launch. And if you're 110 and 113, your 7 iron ought to be somewhere in the 170s, I would think, easily. I mean, easily. Uh, Man, that's kind of different. Um, so I have now, Tom. I have seen this. So what you can do is, uh, when we do fittings here, we'll what'll happen is there's a given swing speed between iron and driver. Okay, particularly like the 5 or 6 and the driver is normally around 10 degrees or 10 mile an hour apart, and that is a huge giveaway as to what the golfer likes, either in woods or in irons. And it would sound as if you're throwing 110 around to 113, that you should have a swing speed of around, at least I would think, at 100 mile an hour with the iron. Now it'd be slightly smaller with but if you're in the 113, so say 103, and the 7 iron, right about that 198 to 100. So if you're not there, you're not swinging with the same confidence as you are with the driver. Pardon me. And that is the difference, is to swing with that. Now, uh, I don't know where you've gone with how you're hitting your irons, but you may find that if you're a taller guy or a shorter guy, that quite possibly two of the things that can help you out. Number one is the right length of the club, and then the lie angle of the club, so that you're interacting with the turf properly. And two, you're making this really good contact, so your quality of hit is top notch, right? That's what we want, is top notch, and you should be okay after that. Now, and even at that, because it ought to be in the 170s easy, and then you can see what that's going to do. All right, Tom B, yeah, by a degree, bud. That's pretty good though. There's Steve. How are you, buddy? Hope you guys are doing well. We are batting. All right. I see the progress on the house. It's looking very, very nice. Congratulations. Oh yeah. Well, I hope so too, because I mean, gee, even at Christmas, hopefully you don't have anything inside the house just as of yet. And take off, man. Go north. Go north. Stephen Pulaski, Acura Tour Z RPG 362 driver shaft. Is it the same as the old Gold 462, just a more active tips section? I don't think so, Stephen. The Tour Z is a totally different woven graphite than the 462, and although the the profile may be similar, maybe, but the way the graphites and the way that they're put together are completely different. All right. Anything which came out of my golf spy like this would sink the business surely. They would jeopardize the company for a few bucks, would they? Seems far-fetched. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna reserve my right to opinion on this one till I find out a little bit more, but you never know. JT, he plays year round. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Okay, good. Not confirming. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Uh, okay. Very good. Well, we got one going the other way. Here we go. Look at that. JT's throwing out a little bit of love out there. And Katrina and Rita. Oh my. You got wet. From an outside perspective, they look legit though. I would say so. Ah, 5'8". Okay. So if you're using standard issue, standard length clubs, chances are, unless your swing is just massively flat, you might want to try a little bit shorter iron so you get a better quality of hit. You know, because if you're throwing the driver 270 with the way that you're swinging, maybe a little bit shorter club, and again, and quite possibly a little bit flatter anyway, in order for you to get a higher quality of hit. That's what we're looking for. What is this putter B deal? I don't know. What is a putter B deal? I'm not sure. Although I will say, oh, we can talk about that. I can only talk about it. I had the Wilson rep go by, and I can tell you that I'm pretty sure I can tell you the instead of D, I have the D9 is on its way out. D9 is, I have the D9 forged, but the D9 is on its way out, and they are going to start using the label of Dynapower. They're going back to the old name, Dynapower. And I got to see the new Dynapower, which would be equivalent to the D10, we'll call it, right? And the Dynapower is a much better looking club than the D9 was. It's just a cleaner look. They did a really good job on it. I don't see a whole lot of, normally they're moving the slots around and they're moving all that stuff. I think they're going to stay in the same wheelhouse. They've just changed the weighting just a little bit, and it's just a much better look. The other thing that I'm completely jazzed about uh, is that they've got a couple of drivers coming out, and they're adjustable, which is something they haven't done in a long time. And these clubs look cool. I have all I can do is say I saw them, and the shafts that come in them are going to be righteous, and these things look cool. Now, is there going to be like this new AI tech stuff? No. However, there is computer aided design on the face and on the crown and stuff. So they are jumping into the technology world as well. And once you guys see them, you'll understand what I'm saying. But again, these things look cool, and I'm hoping that they do very well. We should be in the house before the PGA show. You guys plan to come by if you're coming down. We will certainly give you a holler. All righty. A putter with a new way of putting with it? I don't know. Well, what you might have been asking is that our friend from uh, Myrtle Beach was looking at the Koa tie, and it's from BJM Putter Grip or PJM Grips, and Peter was looking for them, and he was asking who made them. Well, it's BGM makes them for sure, and he was wanting to know about them. So the 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 BGM putter grip, the Koa tie, has a teardrop shape, and it's very long, and from the top of the tier to the bottom of the tier, and the grip is very long, and it's like grabbing on something like that. And what they have you hold it in a certain way and you bend over in a certain way, and it takes a lot of this out of play, and you use your big shoulders to turn, and that's what we're looking at, and that's what we want. And it actually works, but you have to practice it because you can get right outside that groove really quick. but look up BJM putters and putter grips. You'll see what I mean. Charlie, you can play in the 30s. I've done that a handful of times down in Myrtle Beach. No fun. Simran, what do you say, sir? Have you had experience bending P210s, planning on getting them stronger lofted? Will that change the bounce by much and impact playability? Uh, I've not had too many I210s in there, but if there's cast like most other pings, it's going to be a struggle. But if it's the player's model, you might win out just a little bit more. For every degree of change that you do, if you by every degree that the club goes stronger, the bounce will go down and it gets less. All right. So every degree that you add, it adds bounce. So if you look at it like this, and this is the face and this is bounce, and you go like this, that's what's going to happen. And you see how you can turn it into a digger. You go the other way, and you can turn it into something with very, very high bounce, and you can hit skull shots if you go too far. JT. All right. Duke, do you know if there's something you can put on the end of the club to prevent you from gripping the end of the club? Uh, uh, hmm. No, I don't know if there's something you can put in the end of the club, I suppose. Well, I don't know if there's any particular product, Duke. I was just thinking if you didn't want to grip the end of the club, that you'd put like this tape or something on there as a reminder not to go up that far. But I've not heard of anybody having that issue. Oh, there's Dad talking. There's a first. This is McGolf Sr. right here. Now they're saying for people in Florida to go south to South Florida, not to go north. Huh, I'll be darned. All right. If you make the club 1 degree stronger, you lose a degree of bounce. There you go. That's what we were trying to talk to him about. All righty. Well, Mrs. McGolf was not doing her job in sending me one of these, right? She didn't send me one of those. Is quarter till. We did a pretty good job talking all the way around the country today. Well done. And across the water. Guys, thank you so very much for doing that. And if you would, as a reminder, like and subscribe, right? Like and subscribe. And let's see if we can't get that done. We'll go right to here. All righty. Oh, Tom B., one more. Can staff model CB Langles be bent? Yes, most certainly they can. It's a very soft forged club, so we're in pretty good shape. All righty, now back to it. So, again, thanks, guys, watching all over the United States, into Canada, across the water. I'm glad everybody's out there asking these golf questions. If you got any more, remember, like and subscribe. Put that down there. Tell your friends about it so that we can get a little bit more notoriety on this particular channel, and be looking here in the very near future for some of that. We'll be doing our review as well, and as the stuff pours in, we'll keep doing it. And as always, let's see your scores go low.